Welcome to Life and Leadership Lessons with me, your host, Chip Nightingale. I have been learning a lot about myself in the last several years, and many times the things that I am learning are things that I do not like about myself at all. I'm wondering if you can relate with this. About 6 months ago, I went through a scenario in which everything I thought I knew about myself came into question. As I began to listen to what people were saying, I began to realize that there's things in my life that desperately need to change. I don't think any of us like to hear that we need to change, but the truth is, in order for me to have the impact as a leader, I need to come to a place where every day I'm willing to listen and grow in my knowledge and understanding of not only what it means to be a leader, but who I am personally. With all transparency, from July of last year until the first week of January, I truly believed that I was not a very good leader. The results of the things that I had done in the past would say the opposite, but the way people felt about me after the results made me feel like a failure. Douglas MacArthur says this: "A true leader has the competence to stand alone, the courage to make tough decisions, and the compassion to listen to the needs of others." I can say with complete certainty that I did the first two things pretty well. But what I learned about myself was that I was not very good at listening. As hard as it was for me to learn that the way I lead before coming to where I am today was more like a bulldozer, I needed to hear it. I needed to know my weakness in leadership, because for me to lead well, it starts with leading myself. Within my new role at Word of Life, I have been tasked to help facilitate opportunities to raise money for the ministry. The only way that you can truly lead people to see the vision is to first listen to their hearts. The best fundraisers for ministries are better listeners than they are storytellers. There's no way that I could do the job that I am doing today unless someone told me I needed to be a better listener. So the title of this podcast is Leadership Starts with Leading Yourself. I want to talk about two specific things that go along with leading yourself. Number one, it's important to instill healthy habits. And number two, you need to constantly be evaluating yourself. So let's dive right in. Number one, develop healthy habits. I used to think that I had a lot of healthy habits. Why else would I still be able to say that I can still fit in the same jeans as I did when I was in high school? I was still working out about 3 times a week, here and there, off and on, and going on walks with my wife, sometimes with the dog, but I was not feeling any better about myself. In fact, I noticed that I was slowly starting to gain a little bit of weight. A pound here, a pound there. But if you know me very well, you would realize that this is not a good thing for me, because then I began to evaluate all the reasons as to why. And ultimately, I became a mental case. In February, after avoiding getting COVID for over 2 years, I finally got COVID. Most people who I know that have gotten COVID struggled because they were losing so much weight. Not me. I didn't hardly eat anything. I slept all the time. I was really sick for about 2 weeks, and I gained even more weight. It was as if my metabolism completely shut down. I went from fluctuating between 182 to 185, which doesn't make me happy at all, to all of a sudden being over 195 pounds, the heaviest that I have ever been. I went to put on my 32-inch waist pants, and they were extremely tight and uncomfortable. I was livid. So I started having some conversations with my wife and explained to her that I needed to make a change. We have looked into diet plans and nutritional plans and all of those things that you do when you start being worried about your weight. Then I saw the price tag of those plans. In my opinion, they are a complete ripoff, and they would tell you it's not, because they are helping you to better your lives, but I had to do something. So I started doing some more research and decided to try out something different. I'm now 5 weeks into the Noom plan. Almost 20 pounds lighter, and more importantly, I have found out that I was not healthy at all. What I like about the Noom plan is that I can still eat what I want to. I just need to pay attention to those things that I'm eating and be more responsible of when I eat them. Now, to this point, I had been getting away with murder when it comes to my body. I'm lucky that things didn't go south a long time ago. Just because I could eat ice cream every night and not gain a single pound does not mean that it's okay that I continue to eat ice cream every single night. It's so frustrating because my favorite ice cream I'm not going to be able to enjoy anymore. Truth is, I can enjoy it. I just need to enjoy it in moderation. I needed to start developing healthy habits. See, Greg Rochelle, one of my favorite podcasters, really one of my favorite leaders out there, a great pastor, he talks about the importance of disciplining yourself to better yourself. That every year we should find something within our lives that we are going to say we are going to do better for ourselves. COVID was my wake-up call because it helped me to realize that in order for me to lead well, I need to first learn how to lead myself well, and that includes how I take care of myself. If I don't learn how to take care of myself physically, I will begin to have issues with myself mentally. And let me tell you something, my wife can tell you, you do not want that. My biggest fear in life is being overweight. It's not losing my hair because I've already lost my hair, and I do struggle at times with that, but I'm over it and have worked through it. But I can't imagine being overweight, not being able to run with my kids and playing basketball with my kids. And I'm the person that drives people nuts because I'm the one that notices the 2 to 5 pounds more on my body when nobody else does. Understand something though. Healthy habits are not just about your weight. Healthy habits have to do with creating an environment in which you can be the most effective person that God created you to be. Good healthy habits are doing your devotions every morning, of getting into a prayer time with the Lord, with creating journals. Those are great healthy habits. So this is what I've learned about myself when it comes to being on Noom. I am encouraged with rewards. On Noom, I get a coin for every time I do what I'm supposed to do. And at the beginning of the program, it says that the average person who gets between 8 and 10 coins a week will lose weight and live a healthy life. So my mind tells me immediately, because I'm competitive and I want to get as many coins as I possibly can, that I need to do the steps so that I can get the coins so that I can be healthy. It seems so simple, doesn't it? And for some reason, you would think that being healthy would be enough without the reward of getting a coin. But for whatever reason, it isn't for me. In fact, I was just telling my wife the other day that Word of Life, we have this great quiet time app, and maybe we should include coins or rewards that encourage people to get on and do their quiet time. It's like a video game. For some odd reason, we need to feel like we have a goal to achieve, something that we have accomplished, credit for what we have done. When in reality, the reason that Noom is using coins is to help us to retrain our minds so that when we are no longer worrying about our weight, we will hopefully have created better habits so that we won't go back to where we came from. What's sad is that I'm being trained to develop healthy habits just like I would be training my dog by giving him a treat. But understand something. If we need a treat to help us to be motivated to establish healthy habits, then it's time to establish a treat routine to create those healthy habits. The second thing we needed to talk about was we need to evaluate ourselves. And that's part of this idea of understanding the need for healthy habits. We need to evaluate whether or not we are healthy. We need to evaluate whether people see us in a healthy way. So the next piece of the puzzle in developing healthy habits is that we must be willing to evaluate ourselves based off our habits. For 8 years, the Lord blessed the ministry of the church that He allowed me to lead. The problem was that I didn't have the right people in my life to give me constant reflection of the good and the bad things of my leadership. In 8 years, I did not receive an evaluation of the progress that I had made. So I didn't even realize that there were things that I was doing that was causing harm, because all I saw was the good that was happening in spite of the harm. So during those 8 years, I created unhealthy habits that caused me to be unrealistic about how I was really leading people. Basically, it's basically as if I was invincible and that people would follow me and do what I asked them to do, no matter the cost. I came to a place where my evaluation of myself was dangerous. It's crazy to think that going on a diet was going to expose to me some habits that needed to change. I am not invincible. Well, we already know that. But for whatever reason, my habits had created an environment where I thought I couldn't make a mistake. See, none of us are invincible. We all struggle with things. So in self-reflection, I have begun to realize that in order for me to be an effective leader, that I need to be more alert to the things that are around me. I need to be a better listener. I need to be open-minded. I need to care about people more than I care about myself. I need to think about the impact of all the things that I do, not just the things I do at work. I need to think about how this is going to impact my family. And I need to think about how this is going to help me in leading the people I am leading. In other words, self-reflection is opportunity for me to see the weaknesses in my life so that I can better myself for the life that God intends for me to live. I think the reason why I don't like to evaluate my life is just like a diet. I don't really want to stop eating the things that really aren't good for me. I want to continue doing what I want to do, and ultimately, I'm saying that I care more about myself than I care about people. In order to be an effective leader, it can't be about you. It has to be about building into the lives of people. So when was the last time you evaluated yourself? When was the last time you let someone else evaluate you so that you could have a better understanding of the evaluation you have given yourself? I don't know the answer to that question for you, but here's what I do know. That in order to create healthy habits, we need to be able to have people within our lives that can help us to evaluate ourselves. I hope this podcast has encouraged you and that you have been able to reflect on the things in your life that need to change. I have a long ways to go, but that's why I share these things with you, because I know that with you, we all can get there together that much faster. I would love to hear your story as you begin to evaluate yourself. What are some things in your life that you need to change? Can I help you to get where you want to go? In my opinion, leadership does not have to be lonely. It's only lonely because we are afraid of what people will think when they really find out who we really are. So what do people think when they hear your name? So until next time, as you begin to evaluate yourself and you work towards some healthy habits, let's work towards those healthy habits together. This is Chip Nightingale, and yes, you can lead.